You know, just take that much of it or that much of it or that much of it there. Then I can get a unique composition that probably no one's ever got before. Good morning. It is 6 in the morning. It is 25 degrees Fahrenheit outside. Feels colder than that to me, but maybe South Dakota has more humidity than Colorado. But I suppose if I wanted a warm weekend in early March, I shouldn't have gone to South Dakota. I should have gone to Moab or, I don't know, anywhere that's not in the Dakotas. I'm heading towards Badlands National Park. Plan is the Pinnacles overlook for sunrise. It's looking kind of cloudy, so decent chance there's no sunrise, but holy crap. So they got a little more snow than I thought. Fortunately, there seem to have been at least 1 or 2 cars that have come through here before me. There's a solid 8 to 10 inches of snow on the road. It's like about to scrape the underside of my car. I'm fortunately just driving in their tracks, but it's a little slippery. I'm going about,
turn right.
I'm going about 15 miles an hour at the most. Holy shit. Plow through it. I'm a snow plow. Oh God.
You've arrived.
Oh my God. I mean, it's cool, but I don't... Oh man, I don't know if I'm going to be able to get anything out of this. Hopefully I don't get stuck. Okay. I've arrived apparently, according to Google Maps. I don't know which... I guess it's over there. I just went out there exploring. I think it's so cool if we get any light, which I'm not thinking we will, but if we get any light, then it should turn into something nice. It's freezing. I mean, I just put on a second down jacket. Now I got on a whole bunch of layers, and it's still cold, so hard to be creative when you're cold and uncomfortable, but hopefully that extra down jacket will help. 6:33, about a half an hour till sunrise. Seeing just a little bit of light on that horizon. I mean, I can see all the way to, I don't know, east, but cool area though. Hopefully we get some light on it. Emphasize the textures in the rocks down there. Oh, there's another car coming. Someone else crazy. It's gotta be a photographer, right? Oh, yep, tripod. Of course they are. No one else is stupid enough to do this. Oh man. Alright, so probably not going to be much of a sunrise. But I just saw, I was talking with the other photographer guy who showed up here. I think his name's Sal. I'll double check. And we're just kind of chatting, talking about, you know, things photographers talk about. Weather, cameras. One sec. Things like that. I just looked down and there were like 9 bighorn sheep 10 yards from us. So, new lens. Talk about it in a second. Let's go get set up. As long as you don't mind me talking to a camera or just being in the B-roll. So yeah, I've got out my new 150 to 600 lens. I'll talk about that in a minute, but I'm just gonna get some of these. Focus on wildlife this morning. I get the bighorn sheep here, and just kind of roll with the punches. I'm not gonna get any light on the scene here. It's cool, but I'll be here all weekend, so maybe sunrise tomorrow morning will be better. So until then, I'm just gonna take some pictures of these bighorn sheep, zoomed in as tightly as I can. Hope for the best. This is cool. I've never really been into wildlife photography, but this is fun. Yeah, I've done it a couple times lately and been like, man, I wish I had a longer lens. It's 10:20, so it's a little bit late in the morning usually, but the light's finally out. It's just kind of starting to peek out from little patches in the clouds. And I'm thinking that just because of the nature of this scene, because there's no color to it, it's just black and white, it's snow and rock, literally. The color's not the important part. So these are either going to be black and white shots or essentially black and white shots. Get out of that rut there. So the contrast might actually be really nice. So I can expose for the highlights, throw the shadows down into the blacks if I need to, or bracket them. And then just really emphasize the shapes and the textures of these amazing geological formations that have just been shaped by erosion over, I don't know, at least a dozen years. Oh man, I gotta come back here again. This is cool. This is stunning. The hardest part is going to be finding a simple composition. So my brain is able to take all of this in and realize kind of what the beautiful parts are and what to exclude. But when you're taking a picture, you have to make those decisions yourself. So here's an example I'll show you in a minute. I think that I've got a good composition that I'm seeing out of my the left driver's side window here, but it'll take me a minute to see if it's actually going to be worth shooting, and if not, then I won't include this part. So basically, I'm just kind of waiting for sunset, but I pulled over to this overlook. I got a time lapse going, but there are now all of a sudden no clouds in the sky anywhere. They just kind of disappeared like that. So I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that they come back for sunset and then leave for stars, but I'll take one or the other. As long as it's not clear for sunset and then cloudy for stars. That's the worst. So I'm basically out here at this big overlook, which I think is going to be amazing at sunrise. But it's pretty awesome right now because there's no color, but there's so much contrast with the snow. I feel like I'm in Iceland or something. And I'm basically just zoomed in all the way with my 70-200 lens, just picking out interesting compositions among like the hills down here. I'll show you this way. So there's all of these kind of hills down here, and if I zoom in and just take that much of it, or that much of it, or that much of it there, then I can get a unique composition that probably no one's ever got before. And it's also just a good exercise in training myself to really take it slow and think through a picture and focus on the composition and not just capturing nice color in the sky with some sort of foreground. Because right now it's ending up being pretty abstract. It's just black and white splotches that you can tell are hills, but it's not your standard landscape photography composition with like a foreground, a midground, and a background, and maybe a nice sunrise or a sunset. So it's taking a little bit more effort to make sure that it's an interesting composition, because the light is just basically contrast. That's all I'm getting here. It's probably going to be a black and white image unless I can pull out any like reds from the rock. They're definitely there, but it's hard to see in the middle of the day with the harsh light. They tend to come out more at the sunrise and sunset hours with the orange light kind of shining on them anyway. So I'm just kind of out here with the 70-200 lens, zoomed in all the way, picking out details. And I'm thinking I'm probably going to try to shoot with the 150-600, the super telephoto lens, and see if I can get an even closer. So I'm probably going to shoot it with the 70-200 for a little bit longer. Light's not going anywhere. It's just almost straight up in the sky, which typically isn't a great time. I mean, it's 1:30. It's typically not a great time for landscape photography, but giving it a shot. There's pretty cool textures, pretty cool shadows, and see what I can get. So I'll probably use the 70-200 for a bit longer and then zoom in really close with the 150-600 just to play around with it and see what I can find there. So I think I'm going to call this a video. I don't want this to turn into like a 40-minute video of my entire weekend, so I'll break it up into a few bits. So yeah, now I'm just going to go explore a little bit more, probably make some coffee or maybe find a place to buy some coffee, and then plan for sunset, and then maybe some star photography for tonight if the weather cooperates. Then probably sunrise tomorrow morning, and then I've got the long trek back to Denver. But stay tuned for the next parts of the video. Thanks for watching. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, I think we just hit 100, so that's pretty cool. Go ahead and subscribe. It should be that button somewhere down there. Click the thumbs up button to like the video and help other people who might be interested in this find it. And until next time, thanks for watching. Bye.